Hopefully y'all can see me all right. I got a little shadow going on. Let me see. I don't open up the curtains too much. I'm getting ready to get dressed all the way, so. Okay, don't put that much. That ain't gonna help none either. That didn't help any. Anyway, what's up, people? I got a new hat. Y'all like new hat? I found, so I had to go get some, I've got beef again. It's funny because I'm trying to go to a beef company. And I've been carrying a lot of beef lately. But anyway, y'all like the hat? Anyway, this is Iowa. I've never had a gold one. So go, and it's fitted. I love fitted baseball caps, y'all. I don't know how they did this. It's probably that band, that stretch band fit. Um, Usually it's more elasticy. Yeah, semi, not as much elastic as I'm used to. Anyway, I got this at this child. It's a Native American place. So when I was headed there, I was looking for a truck stop. And the closest one I found was in Brooklyn, Iowa, which I'd been to as a TA. So I got my shower there, and I decided to bunk down for the night because that was the closest one next to this Get and Go, which was a hole in the wall place near where I was going to in Iowa. Well, on the way there on US 30, I found a travel plaza called, I can't even pronounce it. It's a little travel plaza, like 30. It's about 40 minutes out of Marshalltown or whatever, Iowa. And it's in Iowa, but it's off of US 30, about 30 minutes, 30, I said 40 miles, 30, 15, 20 minutes from that Marshalltown, Iowa, whatever it is. And it's, shoot, I can't remember the name of the place. Oh, there it is on the sandwich sign. Hold on, y'all. I'll tell y'all in a minute. It's a travel plaza, and they had Meskwaki, Meskwaki, travel plaza. So when I'm driving to the place I'm picking up the beef at, I pass it and I see, because when you're a trucker, y'all gotta look for stuff. And I was like, oh man, that looks like a casino. And I'm not a gambler. I'm not a major gambler. Other than I love bingo. I like to go play bingo. But I'm not sit there and play the slots. I can do it for a few minutes and I get bored. I don't know how people sit in there and get addicted to that. I need more of a bingo. I enjoy. I like hanging out with the old people and calling numbers. Plus, I've won money in bingo, so I enjoy bingo. Bingo to me is a free for all. Anybody can win. So whereas slot machines, I think all them bad boys is rigged. I just do. Anyway, um, I went there to, they have a CAT scale, but as I was driving, what I was really looking for was truck parking. So anytime you go somewhere and and I knew I was about 20, 30 minutes away from the beef place I was picking up at. I'm like, oh shoot, that's a casino. They might have truck parking. So I'm looking across the US highway. I'm on US 30. And sure enough, as I passed, they have a truck stop. They've created a travel plaza and there were trucks. I'm like, I could have parked there. I would have been there like 10, 15 minutes to my beef pickup. Instead, it took me just under a little bit over an hour and 20 minutes to get there. So I went and picked up the beef. I'm on a very, very heavy load. It's like 40, I'm like 78.8. So I'm almost 80,000, like 45,000 pounds of beef. Well, not beef, but it was a beef plant. I think I got pork and stuff. Maybe some beef on there. Anyway, I'm taking this all the way. Well, I'm supposed to be taking it all the way to California, but I'll be honest, right now I'm looking at it. I doubt that I'm going to get to the location on time. Because they had me delivering this on, I think, Monday early in the morning. It's not gonna happen. Oh, that's not gonna happen. I'll be close to California on Monday, but then I don't think I'll be there at the time they want me. So I'll probably do my late call Sunday night. But I'm also driving weather. So this is what this video is about. It's a really quick video. Right now I'm in Nebraska, so I have made it. I went from Chicago to Iowa. Oh, I delivered my load at Walmart in Sterling. Then I went from Sterling to Iowa. I think it's Marshalltown, Iowa is where I was at. So I went to Iowa, got my meat load, and now I'm in Nebraska. I was trying to make York, Nebraska, but I hit some pushy winds. Even though I'm 45,000 in the box, the winds pushed. So when I was on the curve, I was like, oh, looky here, little boy. Got pushing the baby. So I got to about 40 because I had to slow down. and I had got down to 43 minutes from York, Nebraska, and there's a Ambest outside of here. I'm going here. It's got a little sandwich. It's got Subway, but it's Ambest. I love Ambest truck stops because Ambest truck stops are always Ambest truck stops is like the Apple of computers. So it's always that unique, different kind of vibe going on. So that's what I like about Ambest truck stops. Um, put that up like this. So y'all can see me a little bit. Um, so I'm here and they got, I think it's Shoemaker something. So I'm gonna go in here and get me some dinner. I'm gonna come back here and pass out in the bunk because as soon as my hours come back, I'm gonna drive again. I'll be in Denver tomorrow, and I'll probably stay in Denver because I gotta go through the Rockies. Now I'm gonna see because it depends on how far I can get through the Rockies. Because if I can get through Eisenhower Tunnel and get down that mountain, because you really where you have to chain up is right before you go. Usually you have to chain up in the Rockies. Is when you get up over that, you get up in the tunnel. So depending on what the weather is in Denver, determines whether or not I go through the Rockies. And I don't want to get stuck in the Rockies because when I get to Denver, I'm gonna have maybe at the most 2 hours on my clock. Um, Normally when I have this kind of run, I always just stay in Denver, and there's a TA in Denver that I stay at. There's two of them. There's one outside the Rockies I've stayed at. That one's okay. I prefer the one in Commerce City, which is right up from my terminal. There's a Walmart there. Um, I'll probably end up staying at that TA. If not, the other thing I do is I sometimes go to Sap Brothers because I like Sap. Again, Sap Brothers is an Ambest, and I like that. So the only thing about that Ambest, that Sap Brothers, is it's not a big lot. Um, so I'm either do that and then I might lift over to Wally World, something like that. I don't think I need much. I got a few things I need, and or I might go get some damn sushi. If I get stuck there, I might go get some sushi in Colorado. Yeah, I've been having a craving. Craving for some sushi. So I might do sushi. I might lift over to sushi. Um, other than that, that's my new purchase. I won the bet. There you go, like that. I won the bet. So this is my new purchase. Yeah, I love fitted caps. Fitted caps, I'm a huge fan of. I love me some fitted caps. Anyway, I was sitting here in the truck, and I don't know if somebody saw me back in because I whipped this bad boy. I was like, I made a U, put it up in the fuel line, straight back this puppy in. I flipped this be around. Anyway, somebody put this on here. I don't know anything about this company. Y'all, if y'all know anything about them, let me know. WN Morehouse, somebody put it in my mirror. I was like, I wonder if they saw me whip this truck in. They was like, oh, this little XYZ driver can drive. Let's go and put this in her little mirror. Put it in the driver's side mirror. So when I opened the window to look out, because I thought I did a split, but I didn't know how much I was gonna have come back. I only had 21 minutes come back, probably because I used up a lot of my 14 picking up this load. Because I had to wait for the yard dog to pull it out. They had to do an inspection on the trailer that I brought in. It's the first time I've been to this company before. I never went through what this particular facility made me go through. I've been to this company at a different state. I guess each state is different on what they make you go through. So this one had to drive down to some cartage place. They had to inspect the trailer. I guess if it wasn't washed out, then they charge a fee to wash it out. I got the trailer washed out in Walcott, Iowa 80. So I got it washed out at Blue Beacon there, and I had my receipt with me. But he said we already inspected. He says you got to clean. I said yeah. Only thing I didn't feel, I usually top it off, but they had 3/4. So when you do reefer, most of your reefer places, as long as you're 3/4 to full, they will take it. If it's under 3/4, they'll make you go get fuel, okay? Or they'll charge your company a fee to fuel it. While I was there at their facility, they had a fuel truck going around and fueling all the different companies' reefers, and I'm sure they were billing them for that. Um, there was a truck right there in that lot filling them damn trucks up. Um, and I'm gonna make this video about something else. But anyway, I want to talk a little bit about two things. Don't let people intimidate you. And I know I have a lot of newbies that watch. When you're out here, and see, when I was out here, I think, and Bill told me, you have to build a thick skin in trucking. You do. And you have to build that thick skin because if you don't, these truck drivers will walk all over you. On top of that, you'll make choices based on what other people want you to do opposed to what you should do. Okay? And so, example, when I was coming out, when I got emptied from Walmart, I was already a light load. So I was going slow, during windy areas anyway, but now I'm empty. And the winds were, I mean, it's not bad, but the winds were between, I had winds up to just under 20 miles an hour. And then you had little gusts everywhere. Well, it's pushing me. It was pushing me all around. Okay? So I'm getting pushed here, pushed there. I'm getting pushed all over the damn place. So I slow down. Normally, when I'm like that, I can go anywhere from 45 to 50, somewhere between 45 and 55 miles an hour. I'm going slower than what I normally go. My truck is governed at 60 right now on pedal, 62 on cruise. I'm not a cruise control person anyway. I have to have a really good flow going and a really good road. I don't like cruise control a lot. One, because if you get tired, and I drive with reefer, you drive a lot of nights, so I don't recommend anybody, if you drive a night shift or very early mornings when it's dark, do not use cruise control. You're apt to fall asleep. And if you do fall asleep at the wheel, your body tends to relax and you'll come up and you'll slow down, opposed to the truck keep going and you end up in a ditch. If you slow down, you're more apt to end up stopped with a chance to make it than to be turned over somewhere in a ditch because you were on cruise control and the truck was just going and you fell asleep at the wheel. Usually, if you're on pedal, your body releases and you relax and you'll come off and then your truck almost stops. I won't tell you how I know that. I just know that. I'm just saying. I won't tell you how. So that's when you really push your body too far. Um, but don't be intimidated by the people out here. So there were truckers that would go by me because I was going slow and they'd honk. And then they'd do like, all mean face and I'd honk back and I'd do all mean face back. Intimidate me. And I'm not telling you to do that. I just no longer, my tolerance for craziness is really thin. But what I am telling you is ignore them. And the reason I'm telling you to ignore them is because you have to do what's best in handling this vehicle. And you know better. They don't work for your company in most cases. They work for somebody else's company or they work for themselves, and maybe their truck's not governed, and maybe they have more years experience handling high winds and whatever the hell else they do. Also, they don't know how you're loaded. They don't know if there's a problem with the trailer and there's a reason you're going that slow, because usually your hazards are on when it's under a certain speed. Now, I, they don't know why you're slowing down. In my case, I was empty and the wind was blowing and that trailer was pushing a lot. I don't take the trailer like, let's go high winds and go over this curve. No. As soon as like this trailer, I'm heavy. So I got something to hold me down in 50-mile-an-hour gust winds. So it'll hold me down. It might push, but even when I was hitting the gust, I was coming around a curve and that thing said, woof. And it was like, and my truck weaved, like I had to keep it in. I slow down because that's the logical thing to do. And if you don't like it as another driver who's on the road and it bothers you, especially a trucker, it pisses me off because they should know better, but you got so much machismo, and no offense, fellas, testosterone and aggression. And I'm not saying, and that's weird because honestly, I've never had a lady do it. Only guys that go around you and flip you or honk at you and be assholes. Excuse my French, but that's the truth. And not saying a woman wouldn't, but I've never had a woman do it. I've had men do it. Usually ladies just go around and keep going. Why? Because we don't know, and we really don't care what your issue is. I just go around you. The other day I had somebody, and I don't know if he was tired, I don't know if he was asleep, I don't know what was going on, I don't know if he was lost, but his truck was going extremely slow. He was like 35 miles an hour without hazards on. When I got around him, you know what was going on? His headlight went out. He had one headlight. So had I come up on the side, hunked down and flipped him off, that wouldn't have made no sense because I don't know what his issues are. So don't be intimidated by the people out here on the road because they don't know what's going on in your truck. They don't know if you're sick. They don't know if you're tired. They don't know if you've been driving and you're at the end of your hours and you're just barely getting to the off ramp. They don't know crap. They don't know if you don't have any load in there and you're driving in winds. Okay, so you're willing to drive in high winds and drive 75 miles an hour. Go on, cowboy, do you. But for me, I got to do how I best handle this truck. That is my thing for you guys. Handle your stuff and don't be intimidated, especially new drivers. Here's my philosophy. You don't like how fast I'm going? You don't like how I'm driving? Take your ass around. And that's just my philosophy. Very easy. This time of year though, guys, don't be on cruise control. And be very aware of your temperatures. Be very aware of whether there was recent moisture in the area. The other night when I was coming out of Chicago, we had light snow flurries. But what I didn't realize is I couldn't, when I was driving, I didn't see the snow flurries across the road and the snow that was sitting on the road. But on the other side, I could see the snow flurries, but I also could see snow sitting on the road, and I also could see the road look like glass. A lot of times you see it looks glassy like that, that means that ice is building up. So potentially could turn into black ice. And we had temperatures dip down into like 19 where I was at traveling on 80. So definitely at the time of morning I was traveling. So definitely, and I normally don't, it was a light, so I wasn't too worried, but I just slowed down. I just slowed down when I went over the bridges. Instead of accelerating, I cruised across the bridges. I cruised under underpasses because those are the areas that tend to have the quicker ice buildup and moisture and more apt to hit black ice in those kind of conditions. Although you would need usually a little bit more moisture, but I mean, any time could happen. The other thing, real quick, this is just a ramble. I was watching, I might do that in a separate video. I'm gonna do that in a separate video. I'm gonna do a video about the different types of trucking to get into because I was watching a video by somebody, and like I said, sometimes I can watch this. It takes all I have to watch this guy because his ego. I don't know if it's his real ego or if he's just acting, but he irritates the hell out of me when I watch some of his videos. But some of his stuff is interesting because he'll hit some really good topics, even though I think he's doing it to be, I think it's a male thing, a black male thing. You know, I'm dude, you know, I don't know what that is, and you guys got to feel each other's Johnson to feel like y'all a man. It just hurts the hell out of me. And you try to make yourself all irritates the hell out of me. But anyway, we'll talk about it. But he switched from one version of trucking into another, and he just got introduced to what I do, which is reefer. And he's getting a little wake up call that reefers run differently. So what I'll do is I'm gonna talk about at least what I know of the different types of trucking. So reefer, tanker, flatbed, dry van, heavy haul, and talk about what I can give you and tell you to do your research because you need to understand each one runs distinctly different. So I'll tell you like why I like reefer. I'll get into that. I'm gonna do that in a separate video. Peace.